Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here with my continuing playthrough of, yes, Total War. Hearts of Iron 4 Total War. Yes, we're still playing it, even though, today, yes. Okay, thanks, Arno. We're still playing it, even with all of my, problems with it. I just want to say one of the, Total War people reached out to me to want to talk about presumably my concerns. He left a message. I got sure text him back about a day later, and we just haven't been able to hook up the talk or whatnot. So I don't know some of their responses to my harsh criticism. I think perfectly justified. I'm not taking back any of my my criticism of them. Harsh doesn't mean incorrect or bad. It's just harsh. Yes, I will grant that it's harsh criticism of this. And why am I continuing? Well, one of the reasons is several people have encouraged me to continue, the viewers, and part of what I'm here to do is to entertain you all. I mean, that's putting on a show is very much part of what I'm doing. But also, what I'm doing here is to show things and comment on them. That doesn't mean I have to like them. I mean, that's a different thing. But we need more divisions, so we're going to drop these divisions here. Now, I was encouraged to, we'll add another one of those, and add another one of those, because we want to occupy, to do some paratrooper drops. And I said, I don't have any paratroopers, and I haven't researched them. And they thought that there may have been a national focus that I either didn't pay attention to, or just on what my priorities are. Oh, Falsum Jaegers, yes. That's why I haven't here, has paratrooper equipment. Okay, and as they point out, yes, because I had 21 days, and I would be very willing to do it, but we need to get research of, and I just haven't done it, which very likely I should have done, is presumably research this. And, well, maybe we'll do it in a day here once big artillery factories are done. So we're going to continue to push here and see what we can do. We're going to move these forces forward. Let's put them all under a general. We'll figure out who. Skill. Here we are. Von Welch looks good. These motorized troops, we're going to throw them under Rommel. We're going to put them on trains. Get them there fast. These will join Von Welch, and we'll put them under him. There we go. So under there is command. Okay. Oh, also I was suggested, like I've said, I don't necessarily do my air power as well as I should. Light bombers there. Okay, medium here. Oh, we want bigger stacks of that. But I think we'll try to keep them 2 groups of 100. Okay. And if we come in here, can I specify what targets I want to hit? Not used to using no retreat now. Press little crosshairs to specify targets for strategic bombers. Okay. Strategic. There we are. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We are going to look for factories. I mean, not factories. Fortifications. Thank you. I'm not used to doing strategic, because normally I just want to invade and take over and not destroy the territory. So yeah, is that still? Yep, highlighted the right one. Okay, that's what we want to do. Because normally I'm playing the German fashion of using my air as a you know, a tactical air arm. I'm just a big believer that air power alone does not win wars. We could use some more. Well, do we have any more fighter? So we have these early ones. I know several different types of early fighters. No, it doesn't really look like we do. Okay, well. We can support that attack there. Assassination of Leon Trotsky with an ice pick. Don't even need to read too far into that. Okay, they're being counterattacked. They're going to go there. These panzers can go here. These guys can push here. And they'll support that attack. Yeah, down to here. We can build more. We need, well, well, we don't have rubber or oil. Well, we're gonna have some more rubber coming soon. Oil. Let's get another bunch from Romania. Well, since we can't do more rubber, let's be efficient with what we have here. With our factories. What do we need that isn't rubber based? radio equipment. Looks like horses. It looks like, okay, those two things should not need rubber in any significant amount. So let's do that. You know, it's already in the okay, and we're sort of maxed out with radio equipment there. Do we have another? Yes. We'll do that as it comes available. And free dockyards. More subs. Long range would be nice as we get that. Norway has capitulated. Okay, great. Well, it gets us some equipment. And that is what I was hoping to do. Is that? Why does that look? Yeah, I guess it's not a different color. Okay. So, well, let's, what is it, select all here, put you on trains and come down here. We're going to leave the mountain troops to secure Norway and try to move the rest down here to help us out. I think pushing towards Paris is a good idea. I may be wrong about that, instead of taking it first before going to the coast. Yeah, we're all going to hit that. I know it's fortified. See, like people, what the hell is this? I'm serious. What the hell is this? I'm just got done, like I said, well, to the live stream earlier. Just been reading a book on Operation Sea Lion, and they were recounting in just the briefest terms, you know, the Battle of France, as it were, including, you know, Fall Gelb and whatnot, and how the French specifically did not have fortifications along the Belgian border, and how there were few limited forts in Belgium, and there were no other fortifications in France. And here I see a fortified river line. No, you stay there. No, don't go. You're supposed to support that attack. That's right, because we don't want to get cut off. You counterattack into Nancy. You guys can re-move up into there. Push there, supported by these tanks. And Paris is fortified. I know there was no fortifications in Paris. And they already have, shall we say, modifiers for urban combat. Yeah, okay, Toy Jet. I hear you. I hear you that they did do this. Okay, that Providence doesn't, but this one does. Level 2 forts. So yeah, you see, that's the thing is it's not that. Yeah, I hear you. I'm just not buying it to the level that they're doing, and maybe they could point to something that would cover this, would meet the historical basis of it. Okay, guys. And if their justification is, well, the game's too easy. Yeah, but you're not fixing the bad parts. Perhaps they represent field fortifications made out of wood and dirt and sandbag. Okay. And specifically, we have those in Black Ice for Hearts of Iron 3, primarily at my request, because I was invading some of these islands up here and then wanting to fortify them, and it was going to take a huge amount of time to build any level of fortification. So they broke out and made, for the fortification levels, if you do fortresses, you only get 80% of the fortification level, and if you do, up to level 10 is only 80% of the strength. The other 20% would be pillboxes, is sort of like you're talking about, that weren't, it would take a month or two or something. We're not talking about dug-in bonuses, because if you're just talking about, hey, you're hanging out there for 4 or 5 days and you can entrenchment bonuses. We already have those in the game. We have entrenchment bonuses. I totally get that. I'm talking about, like you're talking about, some field fortifications beyond the level. Okay, maybe, and without going in building your own or building another fortification type. That to me gets to level 1 or something. No, I don't want that. I want this. The west wall here is level 3. And level 5. And level 6. Maginot is level 12. Maginot, it wasn't that much better than the west wall. It was better, but... You have to remember that several cities in France and Germany were fortress cities. I know some mods. Yes, there were. And if we're talking about that, you're right. But this province here and this province here, these two, should not have any fortresses in them. Germany did not fortify these two provinces. They fortified back along a river line slightly behind them. This is part of the Saarland in here. They did not fortify it. That's why when the French did the Saar offensive and shocked themselves that we're actually invading, and they turned around and went home because there wasn't much resistance. Germany, these two provinces were not defended. These provinces that should have the fortifications back in here, but I will excuse that because of the really stupid AI, and that the idea that there were a continuous line of fortifications just back a ways from the border. And Germany did have sort of not this crap, nothing like this on either Poland. Level 1s level 3s. There were a few. You're absolutely right. We could look them up. Toy Jet. They did have that, but this spam of fortifications is just not anywhere near historical. And it's overdone of the Czech fortifications. I've looked into that. I had my Czech researcher look into it, who's a history professor. So you support that attack there. You're supposed to be, well, let's blossom out a little bit and pursue the collapse guys there, and pursue hitting Paris, because that's the goal. Up there with the Panzers. Oh, what a Krasnodar, Slovakia, and Hungary. Okay, we'll see what that does. I'm often sort of keep these guys out of the war, but we'll get them into the war. Now, of course, I haven't really been pushing here, but they're, of course, still holding out. Okay. You guys come into here. Motorized forces down here. We still need to see about taking out Belgium and the Netherlands. Sure. I have a question. Do you think naval forts should be able to damage and sink ships? Not really, no. The only time that I think that they have ever been able to do any of that kind of stuff is specifically when it's been related to landing operations, you know, invasions. We can see where some of the guns, these guys should be coming back down here, up in Norway, sunk some German vessels. That's because you're in a very limited fjord and there's a limited field of fire, and it works, and it's effectively supporting a landing operation. They brought up some railway guns and other big guns, including like battery tote and whatnot, and shelled Dover, where the British basically evacuated all non-essential people out of Dover. And they were really effective at hitting stationary targets. But they sank, throughout the whole war, these guns that fired at a bunch of ships sank 0 ships. They killed, I think, 1 sailor and wounded a few others. So, and this is, 20 some miles max. So, yeah, if you park a battleship out here long enough, um, they're going to hit it. Or move it in a steady path. Not zigzagging, not changing speeds. Yeah, stays out there. If it goes back and forth on a steady thing, eventually they'll hit the thing. And they may even sink it depending on how big a gun they hit it and where they hit it. And always you get the lucky shot. What was the hood they got? One of the early Savos hit a magazine and just blows the ship up, and there's like 3 survivors. So yeah, you can get a lucky shot, but if we look at history teaches us that no, and only in where we're talking about direct invasions. Okay, I've researched the American coastal batteries. Up here there was submarine that came in and shelled one of the, I think in Oregon, one of the ports. And the Coastal Command Battery, which is U.S. Army, in the American case, ordered the guns not to fire. Absolutely forbid them to fire at the submarine, no matter how close or whatever, because they knew however much damage that sub with its one gun, it could kill people. Obviously, bad thing, and it's going to do, but it's only going to do very, very minor damage. And they did not want to disclose either positions or effectiveness of the coastal batteries, because this was fairly early in the war, fairly early in 42. Remember, it's December 41 is when, Pearl Harbor happened. So fairly, in the early days of the war, that the Americans are like, is there going to be a Japanese landing or something like this? That they wanted the coastal forts to then open up on the ships, whether they be landing craft or troop ships or battleships that get close enough to do naval gunnery fire support on the landing, to blast them out, because those batteries, because a lot of them are 19th century batteries. They had because of I think of the Washington Naval Treaty, they had a big bunch of guns that started in around 34 or 35. Definitely had a bunch of them done by 36. Started to take guns that weren't scrapped, but the ships weren't built, that they had built the guns for because of the treaty. The Navy had slowly been turning them, as the Army wanted them, had been turning them over to the Army to mount as coastal battery guns. They continued up through and into the war using some of these guns. And those guns were, I don't know, I'm just guessing here, but like 11-inch guns or something. They were pretty big guns that would be able to fire at fairly long range and fairly effectively at, enemy ships coming in. A lot of the other guns were just 19th century guns, the disappearing type guns, and did not have the range, but is mostly just hard to hit, and you might not know where they are. That there's over on those hills somewhere over there, our spies have told us there's coastal batteries, but to actually get the point of aim while you're there at sea, they were camouflaged and hidden, partially because they're disappearing guns, that most Japanese heavy cruisers could easily sit well outside of the range of the guns and just shell into them. The idea is but if they got close enough, they could punch holes in a lot of the ships. Maybe not the biggest, the biggest Japanese battleships, but in particularly in Norway. But that's in very limited and very, very coastal, invasion situations, and they can then. And so just because I'm, patrolling or sailing ships in, these provinces, I don't think coastal batteries should be able to hit them. Only if somehow directly in effect, though it's hard to do to program it, an actual invasion landing, or if you somehow, ships coming into a very narrow bit of land, but they're only doing that really to come in to support an invasion. So that's how I really see it as limiting. let's not push against the fort any more than we have already. I don't know what that means exactly. Okay. Is that like, yeah, I disagree, or yeah, you know, I don't know. If there's some sort of meaning, and you don't have to agree with me. I'm not asking for agreement. I'm just giving you my views. Another ace pilot promoted, and why I think the way I do. Because it's, you know, from the... Okay, guys, you come. You're all sort of motorized forces. Come around there. You come here. Okay, Office of Armament and Defense Economy. Lend-Lease. Well, I don't know why it would require pre-war. Slovakia wants to provide decline. Expeditionary force. Okay. Now, we just got that. We're... Coal, okay. Modify steel up. I don't like that negative. Not saying that. Don't know that I understand why steel refinery. I do know that some of the process particularly takes a lot of compression. There's two processes. Germany used two processes for coal liquefaction. Because they had two different processes, and one process worked on one brown coal and the other worked on the higher grade coal better, and so that's partially what they were looking at. That take over Skoda. Don't know why it's civilian factory. Build Nibelungenwerk. 28 days. Wow. 5 military factories. That's a lot. How can I pass that up? But I am definitely looking at other things. Guess I can't pass that up. Synthetic oil refineries. 14 days. Yeah, I guess we're going to do this. So I want to get to this. Okay, well. Okay, so we've made it to the sea. Now these guys are going to come up towards Dunkirk. No, I started late today, and we're just not doing War Thunder. Oh, look it, they've abandoned. Well, actually, you go there. You go there. They abandoned because we've cut them off. Which actually, if they're actually withdrawing their troops, that isn't a bad plan. Though it's probably stupidity from the AI's point of view, but it isn't a bad plan. Okay, you come up there because you're using the mobile troop stuff. To flank around the rear, and you come there. You come there. We still have Paris as a goal. What's level 4? 6. 6. Level of fortification 6 in Paris. How lovely. Sorry, Toy Jet. I just had to work all night, so not at my best right now. And that's sort of why that is why I was late. Okay, you guys come up to here. You join that fight. You can go there, but oh, those are Hungarian probably. Flying the Italian model. Or what look to be Italian aircraft over here. They're not, they are Hungarian. Yeah, those are Hungarian types. See if we can take Brussels from the rear. Pressure on some other places that I'm not really hitting hard, but now also again, you know, we can talk about fortification levels and troop size. According to the book that I was reading, Belgium at the time of the German invasion had 4, count them, 4 anti-tank guns of one type or another. Yeah. Belgium was in no state of defense of any type, and should not be capable of doing much. Well, let's push on this pocket here. Now the book could be wrong, trust me. Like I said, it was bad history for earlier periods, in my opinion. Well, where do we push? Where do we push? Got them almost cut off. Paris has fallen. The triumph of France. Establish Vichy France. Yep, we'll do this. French state declared war on France. Another victory for Venterland. Okay, well, I think we're going to end this episode, not the stream here, so you guys on Twitch just hang loose. We're going to be ending this episode. I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And of course, I love hearing from you. You can tell me what you think of this whole thing here of what's going on. I would like to know your thoughts. To me, I don't know what they're doing to this whole Vichy declaring war on France and whatnot. What they're thinking with that, because I see the nice Free French symbols. Fine. I don't know. Thanks so much. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.